بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمده ونشكره على ما هدانا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا خير خلق الله النبي المكرم سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين صحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل على Sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to start by offering my congratulations to our living Imam, alayhi salatu wassalam. May Allah hasten his return, and all other Muslims around the world, including you, on the occasion of the birth of Imam Muhammad Albaqir and Imam Alhadi alayhi salam. In one of the du'as that have been recommended, supplication for the month of Rajab, we recite اللهم إني أسألك بالمولودين في رجب محمد بن علي الثاني وابنه علي بن محمد المنتج, which is in reference to Imam Al-Jawad and Imam Al-Hadi. This dua is narrated according to the tradition. Sayyid ibn Ruh, one of the disciples of Al-Imam Al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faraja, during the time of short occultation, the Imam gave him to recite and inform other believers or the followers of Ahlul Bayt to recite it. We are celebrating the birth of Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir and Imam Hadi alayhi salam. Month of Rajab is a unique month. It has a number of birthdays in it, a number of occasions, anniversary of birth, Ahlul Bayt, Imam, as well as one in particular around the end, Shahada and the martyrdom of Imam ibn Ja'far, and as well as Ba'tha around the end of the month of Rajab, the proclamation of the Holy Prophet. These are as far as the occasions that we have to celebrate, commemorate this month. But the month itself is a unique month, as one could say the first step towards Ramadan. Those who intend to hope and achieve something during the month of Ramadan, the first step for preparation during the month of Ramadan starts with month of Rajab. This is why we have so many ahadith regarding the importance of Rajab as a step towards soul searching and purification of the soul, etc., etc. But I don't intend, we can spend the whole lecture, probably more, talking about the significance of the month of Rajab as a step towards the preparation for Ramadan, as a spiritual journey. But I want to start with a hadith from Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir salawatullah wasalam alayh, and talk about the concept of love, Ahlul Bayt in Islam. There is a story that somebody goes to Medina walking from Khurasan to go to Medina and visit and have an audience with the Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir. Once he gets there, he says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, ma ja'ani illa hubbuk. What motivated me to take this long journey from Khurasan, walking on foot, to come to Medina, and he showed his feet to the Imam. the flesh has split, bleeding and everything else. And he said, what drove me to do this is the love of Ahlul Bayt, your love. ما جاءني إلا حبكم, was your love that gave me the inspiration to go all the way. And Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir gives him the answer. من أحب حجرا حشره الله معه. It's a statement that we can trace it from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who said that. Amir al-Mu'mineen says the same thing. Other Imams say the same. Imam Rida, and they all have something similar to this, that man ahabba hajaran hasharahu Allah ma'a. Whoever loves even a stone or thing, something, then he or she will be resurrected on the day of judgment with the thing or person that he loves. This notion of association of love with salvation on the day of judgment has created huge amount of interest and rich literature in Islam, in our literature and narratives regarding what kind of a love should it be that the mere existence of this love secures the day of judgment. The concept of love, and it's a fascinating topic that we have mystics as well as other scholars have been talking about it, debating exactly what is this love that we are talking about. That if you love even a thing, you will be resurrected with that thing that you are resurrected with. The one that you loved during your life. If we look at the Holy Quran, we start from the Holy Quran in search of some kind of a definition for this love, a working definition or clarification as exactly what is this love. First, we see that over 100 verses in the Holy Quran, the concept of hubb and one of its derivatives have been mentioned. We can even go before the revelation of the Holy Quran. There is a hadith Qudsi that says, Kuntu kanzan makhfiyya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Holy Prophet that I was a hidden treasure in the absolute sense, when there was nothing around. فَأَحْبَبْتُ أَنْ أُعْرَفْ. I loved to be recognized. فَخَلَقْتُ الْخَلْقَ لَكَيْ أُعْرَفْ. Then I began creation. So in essence, creation rests on the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be recognized and to be known. And this love transcends every stages of the creation as it starts from the essence of God until it gets to this material life. But when we go to the Holy Quran, we see that the love, the concept of love is divided into, or hubb, divided into two broad categories. Number one, the commendable one, something that is recommended. And we see a number of verses that fall within this category. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِ يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. If you really love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then follow me, because my mission is to guide you ultimately to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Once you follow me, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would love you as well. وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. And your sins and shortcomings will be forgiven. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. Those who really believe, they have intense love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another verse in the Holy Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا من يرتد منكم عن دينه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه. If there are those who are going to deviate from their path, ultimately there will be a group of people that Allah would bring them, that they not only that Allah loves them, they love Allah as well. So there is a reciprocal love. This is part of what we call commendable love. Also, we have a number of verses in the Holy Quran that what we call it the forbidden love, the love that is not recommended and chastised for having this association. Number one, the most vivid example is the story of Yusuf and Zulaykha. وقالت نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه قد شغفها حبا. This love that she has, the wife of the minister or a slave boy that works in their house, out of intense love that she has for this boy, for this young man. So this is a seductive love that is certainly considered to be forbidden. Sometimes we see the object of love that is attached to it is not a person, it is mal, wealth. When somebody becomes greedy and hoards wealth as much as possible. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. The blinding love, that the only thing that matters to you is just the hoarding and the collection of wealth. And you don't spend it the way you should be spending it. So when we go to this, if we return to the concept, and there are a number of other ahadith that we have in other ahadith that cites this concept of love. With regard to love of Ahlul Bayt, how it should be structured and how should dictate that love, control our life. So if we return to man ahabba hajaran hasharahu Allah ma'ah, if you love Ahlul Bayt, as this person was claiming, ultimately on the day of judgment, you will be resurrected and you will be saved by that love. The question remains, what kind of it? If you ask all of us, whether we all express that we love Ahlul Bayt, but do we really have that kind of a love that ultimately would secure our salvation on the day of judgment? This is questionable. Somebody comes to Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullah wa salamu alayhi and says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, ana min shi'atika wa muhibbik. I am one of your followers and a person that loves you. Imam immediately responds in a negative way by giving him a list of things. Do you do this? Do you follow our example? Do you think about what we do and you organize your life accordingly? And he says, no, Ya Ibn Rasul, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, but I still have this inner feeling towards you. Imam says, Wayhak, atadri man shi'atuna. Do you know who are the true believers of Ahlul Bayt? Salman, he gives at least 4 examples. Salman, Abu Dhar, Miqdad, wa Ammar. When you claim to be Shia of Ali, you are equating yourself with Salman, with Abu Dhar, with Ammar and Miqdar. Are you on the same level or not? He says, no, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, in that case, قُلْ أَنَا مِن مَوَالِيكَ. I'll try to follow you. I have a feeling in my heart for you, and I try to follow you, but you cannot be min shi'atina, or the Shia, the true followers of Ahlul Bayt. And The Shaykh Quran comes in, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَاي وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. If we get to the stage that everything about us then is done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything that we do, we try to imitate and emulate Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, then naturally we should expect on the Day of Judgment this love to be a saving love and secure salvation. But if not, then this is not the love that Ahlul Bayt are talking about. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq salawatullah salam alayhi has a poem, although our brothers and sisters Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah refer it to Shafi'i. تعصى الإله وأنت تظهر حبه. You are sinful, disobey God, and yet you say, I love God. هذا لعمري في الفعال بديع. It's a unique state to be in. Express love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and at the same time disobey. By default, love means brings in obedience. It's a unique characteristics that once you have it, you are mesmerized by this love. For even in the material sense, you only see the beloved. In this context, will be either Ahlul Bayt or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لو كان حبك صادقا لأطعته. If you truly loved Ahlul Bayt or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you followed the command. إن المحب لمن يحب مطيع. Imagine you have a lover and a beloved. In Ahlul Bayt, they are the beloved, and I claim to be the lover. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the beloved, although the mystics and the Urafa say no. The true lover is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gives you the opportunity to be a lover. إِنَّ الْمُحِبَّ لِمَنْ يُحِبْ مُطِيعُ. The lover and beloved follows the beloved all the time. So when you have a discrepancy, a dichotomy, and somehow a difference between what you claim and what you do, then this is not the love that in this hadith Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir is referring to, that says, وَمَنْ أَحَبَّ شَجَرًا حَشَرَهُ اللَّهُ مَعَهُ. When the hub and love becomes so intense that you imitate, you see nothing else, then that's the hope that ultimately, in the context of Ahlul Bayt, that's the hope that ultimately would define our success on the Day of Judgment. Again, another hadith, what Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq salawatullah salam alayhi is referring to, claim the love of Allah, but follow shaitan, they don't match. There is a contradiction. Alaikum as-salam. It's not, this love is not transformative, is not dynamic, that ultimately is going to change one's life. Amir al-Mu'mineen sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in another hadith, man ahabbana biqalbih. You see how concept of hub has to be transforming. Man ahabbana biqalbih wa a'anana bilisanih wa qatala ma'ana biyadih fahuwa ma'ana fil jannah. في درجاتنا. A person that has this intense feeling in the heart, but it doesn't just remain in the heart, it shows itself outside. وَأَعَانَنَا بِلِسَانِهِ. Then the tongue begins to be supportive of the goal and the objective of Ahlul Bayt. وَقَاتَلَ مَعَنَا بِيَدِهِ. Stands and fights for our goals and objective. Then this person will be ma'ana fil jannah, on the same level, or at least with the Ahlul Bayt. So if we want to understand the concept of love that Imam Muhammad Albaqir, Imam Rida, Amir al-Mu'mineen and others referring to as the criteria of success and failure on the Day of Judgment is a love that makes us follow them. We all have been asked, Asatidha and the philosophers or the teachers of Irfan, they recommend that their students every night before they go to sleep take 15 minutes of muhasabah to understand what one has done during the day and be accountable for it. You reflect, sit down, look, 24 hours gone. What have I done? Am I in the right path? Have my situation improved compared to yesterday, or it was worse? There is a hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullah wasalam alayhi. If 2 days of our life are equal, and on the second day we are not improving it, we might as well be dead. Now, if we get worse, then even better. It gets back. We go back, then it's worse. Nawfal Bukhari, one of the disciples of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ashab Amir al-Mu'mineen, goes to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, أتيت أمير المؤمنين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وقلت يا أمير المؤمنين عظني. Give me موعظة, advice. Amir al-Mu'mineen goes through a number of steps. Do this, do that. Every time he gives him an advice, he says, زدني يا أمير المؤمنين. How lucky these people were. And zidni, give me more. Amir al-Mu'mineen gives him some more advice. Until it says, إياك أن تحب أعداء الله وتصفي ودك لغير أولياء الله. Be careful in your life if your love and affection is for the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have in Furu' al-Din the concept of tawalla and tabarra. Tabarra is to stay away and detach yourself from those who are sinful and disobey God. فَإِنَّهُ, now the same hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen is narrated under this context. فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ أَحَبَّ قَوْمًا حُشِرَ مَعَهُمْ. If in your life, the time of muhasabah, you open your heart and you see element of love for a'da'ullah, those who do not agree with Ahlul Bayt in it, then there is a problem. Man ahabba qawman hushira ma'ahum. They have given us a criteria for being true followers of Ahlul Bayt and a failure. We see this in a number of ahadith from Ahlul Bayt. Man kana lillahi muti'an fahuwa lana wali. Wa man kana lillahi 'asiyan fahuwa lana adu. It's a criteria. You want to judge yourself to see whether you fall within the category of the followers of Ahlul Bayt. See how close you are and your lifestyle is to the frame that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Holy Prophet said in the beginning, إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونَ يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. If you want to be loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then follow me. If this faith, if we do not follow the faith, what the Holy Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us, that lip service, وَالدِّينُ لَعِقٌ عَلَىٰ أَلْسِنَتِهِمْ, is not going to work. As I stated at the beginning, month of Rajab is a unique opportunity for us to begin the movement, the journey, the sayr and suluk, as they say, the spiritual journey, to a place where ultimately on the night of Qadr we can stand and claim that we have purified our soul to a degree that we can receive the blessing of Allah during that. Otherwise, if we haven't done anything, no preparation, why is it that the month of Rajab has so many mustahabbat during the month, including the fasting? Rajabiyun that they talk about on the Day of Judgment, they are going to be called in. Those who honored the month of Rajab, one of their characteristics is to be fasting. Because the fasting of a month of Ramadan that ultimately brings taqwa should have started. Your body should have been adjusted. Your mind should have been adjusted. The whole physique should have been adjusted and be prepared for that ultimate journey that you're going to go through the month of Ramadan. It shouldn't be immediately, as soon as the moon of the month of Ramadan is sighted, we go towards fasting, not ready, not prepared. If we can do it during the month of Rajab, proper fasting, where you begin to control the tongue, the eyes, the ears, what we say, what we do, and gradually shift ourselves towards it, make it a spiritual journey. There are people during this month that they have a schedule, they organize a schedule for themselves. How much of the Holy Quran, how many verses they have to recite, the du'as that they have to do. They insist on the Salat al-Layl if we haven't done it before. The ad'iyah during this, the astaghfirullah. If you go to Mafatih al-Janan or any other book of dua and see what is recommended. All of these are so that we begin to fall into this habit of controlling ourselves and moving towards month of Rajab, and month of Ramadan. Ready. There is an expression in English that says, you hit the ground running. If you have gone through the month of Rajab, fully conscious of your responsibility, if you've gone through the month of Sha'ban, fully conscious of your responsibility, and you follow it on every occasion that happens during the month of Rajab, whether it's the birthday of Imam or the anniversary of the martyrdom of Imam, you begin to wonder, am I really with the Shi'at? Can I claim to be the Shi'at Ahlul Bayt? Or this Imam that I'm celebrating his birthday today, or his commemoration or martyrdom tomorrow? What do we have? What do we understand from their lives? Does our lifestyle the same as their lifestyle? Is this hubb? We go back to يا أيها الذين آمنوا فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبون. Am I part of those or not? Or am I drifting through life? يحبون المال حبا وتحبون المال حبا جما. The only thing I do from wake up with the only desire to acquire more wealth, and go to sleep with the same desire to, if I get a chance tomorrow, do the same thing. If this is the cream of creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created and was proud, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً, we have reduced ourselves to 9-to-5 job and eat and reproduce, and that's it. And then we expect the moment that we sniff the last breath, a red carpet to heaven. We have another hadith that says, nothing, you will get nothing if there is no hard work. The hadith says, Jahannam and punishment is associated with pleasure of life. Easy. But heaven, you require hard work. Hard work for the month of Ramadan. If you want, on the 23rd, which is definitely is considered to be the night of Qadr, The destiny of the next year, according to a number of ahadith, are written. And the descension of barakah and mercy of Allah for you during these nights to come to you, now is the time that we have to start preparation. Why? Because the hubb of Ahlul Bayt, go back to the story that I said regarding Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir. He says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, ma ja'ani illa hubbukum. What motivated me, that to walk barefooted or walk without any animal or anything from Khurasan to Medina. How many miles? 7,000, 6,000 kilometers, 8,000 kilometers. Walk. He makes it to Medina, his feet are split. The flesh is bleeding. And he shows it to Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir. Shows them. And he says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, what motivated me to accept all the pain is the love of Ahlul Bayt. The Imam wants people that, going back to the hadith of Amir al-Mu'mineen, not only أحبنا بقلبه أعاننا بلسانه وقاتل معنا بيده. You embody every value, all the values that Ahlul Bayt have, and you are prepared to struggle and stand by. This person comes from Khurasan to Imam Muhammad Al-Baqir. Another person comes from Khurasan to Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq and says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, why don't you rise against Bani al-Abbas? He said, how do you want me to rise? Where is the soldiers and everything else? He said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, we have 100,000 ready armed in Khurasan waiting for your command. Imam says, oh yes. Don't you think that I am your Imam? Ready for my command? I command you, there is a tanur, a fireplace where you bake bread. Open the cover and go inside. This guy, stunned, says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, it's fire. I'm flesh. He said, don't you think I understand that when I command you? So he hesitates. At the same time that he hesitates, Zurara walks into the house of the Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq calls him, Ya Zurara, idkhul al-tanur. Zurara walks towards tanur, lifts the cover, goes inside. This man, as the expression goes here, goes ballistic. I mean, Zurara is dead. After a few minutes, اخرج يا زرارة. Zurara walks out, a little bit dusty, but safe and sound. Imam goes to him, looks at him, says, are there any, how many of them are like this person? When you talk, tell me that to rise against Bani al-Abbas and they submit to my command, how many are like this? He said, none, ya ibn Rasulullah. That's why I don't rise. Ahlul Bayt want people that submit to their command. Why? Because at the end of the day, they are the embodiment of everything good and they are the role model. If our love for Ahlul Bayt encourages us to submit to this degree, or at least a little bit shorter, then we are doing something. Hope has a meaning. Otherwise, claiming lip service that we love Ahlul Bayt, but we don't follow their command. There is a disconnect between what we claim and what we do. Then we have a problem. So, Man ahabba hajaran hasharahu Allah ma'ah is that hub, the dynamic hub that changes. Reflect, you begin to, the moment that this love comes in, It transforms one's life. You have a number of stories in Arabic literature as well as Farsi regarding some classical stories about hope and love. The Layli or Majnun, you have it, and there are a number of others that people have read it as part of the list. When the person falls in love, sees nothing in the world but the beloved. If we can organize our lives, when we say we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we can organize our life in such a manner that see nothing but Allah, then that love is true love. But if Allah is just one piece of a jigsaw puzzle that we have attachment to, these are the months that we have to change. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us. Really, we need help during this month and next month and the month after, so that gradually and inshallah by the end of the month of Ramadan, we succeed in purifying our soul to a degree. Not saying to become perfect, but at least to a degree. And then continue with it, you never know, till next year, if we are privileged to be. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.